So when you went public in December of 2020, you priced the IPO, or the underwriters did, at half of the price that it ultimately ended up that day. So some people might say you left $23 or $4 billion on the table. Do you look at it that way, or you think it was mispriced, or you're okay with it?
We came back from 2019 as somewhere between, on the private markets, a $30 to $40 billion valuation. At the depth of the pandemic, our valuation was below $18 billion. I mean, we probably would have struggled to raise money at an $18 billion valuation. We had warrants. And to be able to be a $100 billion company 8 months or 7 months after that low point, it was really hard to imagine any of that was going to happen. And I think part of the reason our stock popped was I believe we had hundreds of thousands of people in retail trying to buy our stock. So I don't feel bad. I never took the highest price in any round. We totally could have priced it higher, but it was pretty hard, I think, at the time to foresee that this was going to be a company that was going to reach a valuation like that.
Now, as we talk, you've just reported your earnings for last quarter and last year, and they were record earnings, record revenues, and so forth. And you said, I think at the release, that COVID has changed everything. People are changing the way they work and the way they travel. Can you explain what you mean?
I think the world is never going back to the way it was fully before the pandemic. And one of the changes, I think, David, has been a change in how we work. You know, for many people, not all, but many people had a job at an office. They're not going to be required to come back to the office 5 days a week. And I don't think CEOs per se are going to determine these policies. I think workers will, because all of us CEOs, I think, want the best talent. And I think flexibility is going to be the second most important benefit after compensation. So I think we're now living in a world where many people are going to work remotely. They might go into office, but not 5 days a week. If you don't have to go into office 5 days a week, you're more flexible. You're less tethered to any one city. And so I think what that means is that for millions of people, they can now live anywhere. Some people that don't have kids, like me, can literally live nomadically. You can stay city to city hopping around. I think a lot of young people and retirees will do that. All of this, David, has culminated in Airbnb not just being a company about traveling, but now a company about living. What people don't realize is half of our nights booked are for stays of longer than a week. A fifth of our nights booked are for stays that are longer than a month. So there's this whole new category of travel that's not classic 2-3 nights in a city. It's not long-term housing, and it's completely emerged because of the pandemic.